Most online stores get traffic but still struggle to turn clicks into sales, often because they are missing the basic elements every product page needs to convert. If your product pages aren't converting like you expected, this video will help you fix that so that your visitors become actual paying customers. I've spent over 10 years building and growing e-commerce stores, including multiple 7- and 8-figure brands, and after testing all the product page layout combinations you can imagine, I noticed that the high converting stores all follow the same core elements no matter the niche. In this video, I'll break down those elements and show you exactly how to structure your product page so that you get higher conversions. And at the end, I'll reveal the most common mistakes even experienced store owners make and how to fix them instantly. If you're new here, I'm Christian, and after so many years in e-commerce, one thing I've learned is that great product pages don't just look good, they guide people to buy. If you want to learn more about how to properly design a product page, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. We all want our stores to stand out, to look custom, unique, or trendy. But with e-commerce, small design choices can make big differences in conversions. So instead of guessing what works, it's smarter to look at proven examples, and one of my favorites is Last Object. This is a Shopify store making over $2 million a year, and their layout is a perfect model for how a product page should be structured. What's impressive is that they build a multi-million-dollar brand around something as simple as a reusable swab, proof that even the most ordinary products can turn into a huge success with the right strategy. And companies like Last Object that get steady traffic, sell on Amazon, and have built real recognition online have data to back up every layout decision they make. They understand user behavior, they know what helps conversions, and they've refined their pages to remove as much friction as possible. The main thing they are focusing on is what's showing up right away, what's visible in the first screen above the fold the moment someone lands on their site. When I say above the fold, it's not just about your computer and your device. Everyone's device is different. A desktop computer, a laptop, or a tablet all show a different part of the page first. A common mistake store owners make is designing their site based only on how it looks on their own device, on their own screen. And you can fix that in a few simple ways. You don't need multiple devices to test, but if you want, you can try zooming in and zooming out in your browser to mimic different sizes. You can also use your browser's developer tools to preview your site on multiple screen widths. And if you've got a tablet or other devices laying around, you can open the page and see how it feels on real screens. The goal is to make sure your key elements stay visible above the fold everywhere, no matter the device someone is using. And another thing you should know is that cross-browser testing is also really important. What looks perfect on Chrome might appear slightly off on Safari or other browsers. Depending on who your audience is and what device they use most, make sure that you test on those browsers and fine-tune your layout accordingly. We want to show the customer the most important information first, because the more someone has to scroll, the less likely they are to buy. If we look at Last Object, for example, the product page follows the same principle. They keep everything essential above the fold: images, title, price, call to action, all structured clearly. And while this might seem like a simple layout, this is exactly what's working. You can make small adjustments depending on your brand, but this is the layout people are familiar with when it comes to online shopping. So first, let's look at what's visible above the fold. Right away, people should see a clear navigation and the key elements that help them understand where they are and what they are looking at. A clean, simple navigation keeps visitors moving without getting lost. And if your site has more pages or collections, it's worth adding a small breadcrumb section at the top. It helps users understand their position on the site and easily move back if they need to, keeping the browsing experience smooth and frustration-free. Now, Last Object doesn't have a breadcrumb section, but they have a fairly simple navigation. You can just shop now or read about sustainability, which is one of the reasons their customers buy from them. Next, we have the logo, and to the right, we have the user account and the shopping bag. There are things you can change here, like, for example, you can start with the logo first and then have the navigation, but the user account, search box, and shopping bag should always be on the right. Aside from that, we want to include the most important product details. The main product image should be placed on the left, supported by a few additional functional images that shoppers can scroll or click through. This helps them understand the product quickly and builds confidence in what they are buying. If possible, include a short video as well. That gives people a better sense of how the product looks like and feels in the real life. Then we've got the product title. In this case, it's not using too many SEO keywords. And this is because the brand already has online recognition. But for most businesses without a big public profile or marketing budget, it's important to research and include the keywords people are actually searching for in this title. This helps your product get discovered by more potential customers. One key part of a product page is the social proof, and a simple way to show it is with reviews. You can place the review stars either above or below the product title, whichever looks better for you, but make sure that they are always visible. Most review apps do this already, and it's a good idea to make the stars clickable so that people can click them and they are sent directly to the full review section. But you should keep the star widget subtle, no bright colors or underlines that distract from your main call to action. Then you'll also want to add a short description or a subheading. This is important because it gives people a quick idea of what the product is and why it matters without making them scroll or read too much. Keep it brief and punchy. Most people won't read more than a sentence or two. To make it stand out, you can add a badge next to it. Badges are great for social proof, whether it's an award, a certificate, a safety rating, or something similar. Kind of like the one they are using right here underneath the Add to Cart button. Their customers care about the environment, so that's why they've added that badge there. The next area to focus on is pricing, and one interesting thing Last Object does is to display their pricing directly inside the Add to Cart button. This isn't a standard practice. Normally you'd have a separate section for this, but in their case it works well and it's a nice touch for their design. Sales and discounts should be easy to see. Show the original price so people quickly understand the deal. Make the main price stand out, bold or larger to grab attention and encourage the purchase. Next, include any additional options or details like color, size or other variations, and of course your Add to Cart button. And it's crucial that your Add to Cart button stands out from the rest of the design. Use a distinct color so it's immediately visible and draws attention, making it clear where you have to click. Alright, moving down, we have some additional icons and trust signals. If possible, it's great to keep those above the fold, especially if they are deal breakers for customers like free shipping or easy returns. And Last Object does this really well. They display the delivery time right underneath the Add to Cart button, followed by a logo highlighting their environmentally friendly mission, which resonates well with their audience. Below that, they include 3 additional trust badges. These little details help build trust and make customers feel confident about buying. There's no single way of laying out this content, but as long as it is clear and easy to find, you are on the right track. Last Object's layout is specific to their niche, but for most stores, you can include 3 trust badges right underneath the Add to Cart button, and in the expandable sections or drawers, you can add product details, information about returns or other policies, ingredients, and any other relevant info. Now, Last Object doesn't have a traditional description like we are used to seeing on e-commerce sites, and that's because they've decided to explain their product through sections down below. They are essentially answering customers' questions through these sections like why use our product, how to use our product, environmental mission, social proof, related products, FAQ, and reviews. And if you don't want to create separate sections for all of this, you can include information about why use our product, how to use our product, and the brand's mission inside an extended text description that should contain images and videos when needed. Then you can only create separate sections for FAQs and reviews. With a simple layout like this, you will be able to convert more of your users. The key is to focus on the first viewport. Make sure the most important information is visible and functional for your visitors right away. Sometimes the problem with platforms like Shopify, for example, is that their flexibility can actually work against you. You have so many options that's easy to pick a theme that doesn't follow proven structure, or you get overwhelmed and place elements in the wrong spots, basically sabotaging your own layout without even realizing it. For anyone out there that wants to skip all that hustle, finding the right theme, designing the perfect product page, or installing extra apps for reviews or sticky add to cart buttons. There's a new e-commerce platform called EverBee Store. It lets you build a fully functional store in minutes using AI guidance. Out of the box, it gives you the exact layout we talked about in this video with everything included, so you don't have to worry about missing key elements or paying extra for apps. With EverBee Store, you can focus on testing products quickly instead of fiddling with design or setup. You can sell anything, physical products, digital products, or even subscriptions, and it includes email marketing and everything you need to get started fast. This way you can discover what actually works without guessing on layouts, apps, or other setup details. So if you're interested in EverBee Store, you're gonna find a link in the description. And now, when designing the mobile layout, because that's also important, we should be careful about what we place at the top. The goal is to show people the most important information first. Make sure that all the elements in the viewport are well dimensioned and they don't take up too much space. On mobile, users are more likely to scroll than to just bounce directly, so you don't need to fit every detail into the small viewport, but the key elements should still be visible right away. For image carousels on mobile, it's better to show dots instead of showing all the thumbnails. That saves space and hints that there are more images to scroll through. Another helpful touch is to partially display the next image so the customer knows that they can swipe through additional photos. Right below the product image, you should have the product title, and then you should have the price. From my research, these are really the only things you need to show in the initial viewport on mobile. People don't expect the add to cart button to appear right away, in my opinion, so I think they are fine scrolling down and finding it. The key is to make sure that the users immediately know what product they are looking at. They can see the images or videos, they can see the title and the price. Anything else like descriptions, reviews, or additional details can flow below. Of course, big brands try to include all the important elements inside the viewport when possible. Last object, for example, shows everything that matters to them: images, title, price, and key trust signals, all arranged in a clean, organized way. This ensures users immediately see what's most important without feeling overwhelmed. Of course, if you want to have any sections underneath these essential ones, make sure that they are properly sized for mobile. Text should be readable, images correctly scaled, and information should flow naturally. And I always recommend the sticky add to cart button on mobile. That ensures that as users scroll, they can take action at any point. Last object doesn't have this, but in my experience, it can significantly improve conversions. So now, what are the biggest mistakes store owners make with their product pages? One of the biggest mistakes is a cluttered above the fold area. Some people place elements at the top that aren't properly sized, which pushes the most important information below the viewport. When that happens, customers don't see what matters right away and are more likely to bounce. Another common mistake is poor navigation. Confusing menus, missing breadcrumbs, or no clear way to get back to categories can frustrate users, making it harder for them to find what they are looking for. Weak product images are another big problem. Using low quality pictures, not showing multiple angles, or not adding videos that demonstrate the product makes it harder for customers to understand what they are buying. Ignoring mobile optimization is also a big one. Many store owners assume that the desktop layout will naturally work on mobile, or they cram too much onto a small screen, which can frustrate users. You know, when you try to click things. Then neglecting social proof can also hurt conversions. If there are no reviews, no ratings, no trust badges, customers don't have the reassurance they can feel confident buying. Then overloading descriptions is also a big problem. Long, dense text at the top of the page can overwhelm users. Short, punchy copy that quickly explains the product works much better. Then a weak or hidden call to action is a huge issue too. Add to cart buttons that don't stand out, are hard to find, or aren't sticky on mobile make it harder for customers to take action. Then ignoring trust signals can hurt too. Missing badges for award certifications, free shipping, or environmentally friendly messaging can reduce credibility and make users hesitant. And finally, not testing across devices and browsers is a mistake many store owners make. Layouts that look fine on one screen or browser can break on others, causing a poor experience for many customers. Designing a product page that converts is all all about showing the right information first, build trust, and make it easy for customers to take action. If you found this helpful, drop me a like, and if you want to learn how to customize your Shopify product page, you can watch this step-by-step tutorial that already helped tens of thousands of people. Click it and I'll see you there.